Hey family. Okay, so we're on to our video, right? Full moon in Pisces, September 10th. Um, so this moon looks huge. The natives called it the harvest moon, and that's because it was time to reap the harvest. So all the beautiful light that big full moon provided, you know, helped with the harvest. Um, I got my essential oils going. Some I have in there. I have frankincense, clary sage, rose and ylang ylang. Forgive the ylang ylang tongue twang. But jasmine also. Does say sandalwood? And all the oranges, basically sweet orange, petitgrain, neroli. Those are great. I have my little notes. You know my little notes. In this full moon, you can charge your crystals. You may have felt the energy going around. This moon is in Pisces, so it's Pisces is a water sign. So it's like emotions and dreams and desires. Um, that's what you'll feel a lot of going around this time. So now, again, it's a water sign, so a spiritual bath is a good time to do those kinds of things. Adding like pink Himalayan salt, Epsom salt, and herbs to your water. Now it's a great time for that. The full moon, we're partly water, like a lot, like what, 72%, right? So um, we're bound to feel like emotions welling up at this time. It's a good thing to journal or keep a dream journal, because our dreams are prophetic, whether we know it or not. But that's my little moon spiel, I guess, right? Um, let's get into it. So we are going to do a lot of resting. That feminine energy is about a easy going with itness, okay? Like a more of a going with the flow, sitting in that femininity. Like I'm a queen waiting for, not a queen waiting for, because you're not. It's an active thing. It's it's acting in a knowing that you're good and that shit's coming to you. So we're gonna rest a lot. I have a lot of variations for rest at the end of our flow today, which I had a lot of fun putting together. By the way, welcome to my home. Let us begin. So if we start off in Baddha Konasana, bound angle, with our both of our soles touching, and just sit. If you want to let your eyes drift closed, if you want your hands on your resting on your knees, resting on your feet, concentrating on making our breath nice and even and fluid, feeling how our root is grounded right now. We're breathing deeply and opening up all these channels up to our crown, up and through our crown. So if our eyes are still drifted closed, let's work on or even if not, let's work on a easy neck stretch. We'll take our right ear to our right shoulder. Just tilt it over gently. Our back is nice and tall, and our ear just drips over to the side. If you want to deepen the stretch, let's reach out with our left hand almost back behind us, but not directly. Behind us and to the side, just a gentle stretch of that arm. We can balance on our fingertips. Breathing deeply still. And if you want to, you can take your right hand and just drape it on your head. You're not pulling here. You're just letting the natural weight of your hand help you deepen that neck stretch. Let's relax our left arm. Take that right hand and just use it to bring our head back to neutral and center line. And let's work on the other side. We'll drip over our left ear to our left shoulder. Breathing deeply. If you want, stay here. If you did it on the other side, let's reach out with that right arm, just kind of barely behind you. And bring that left arm just gently across the top of our head, just feeling the weight of that hand. Not a pulling. And let's release that hand. Use your left hand to bring your head back to neutral. And let's move from here to our easy seated pose. So we're just gonna bring a little cross in our ankles. If you need to make any adjustments, because you see I felt like I needed to, just sitting more on my sit bones. So from here, what I say? All right. We'll do some seated cat-cow. So if our hands are on our knees, that's fine. So we are going to inhale big, shining our chest forward, pushing our sternum and our heart space, shining that space forward, and just bringing our gaze just up. On our exhale, breath round the back. Use those abs to kind of tuck them in, rounded spine. And let's do it again. Inhale. Send your tailbone back to the wall behind you. Your chest and neck are open, exposed, heart space, throat space. And exhale. Rounding out the spine. Inhale. Forward. And for the last time, exhale. Rounding out the spine. Tucking the abs in. When we inhale, let's come to neutral. If you need to wiggle your shoulders. Now what I had said. Okay, let's move on to our hands and knees for a little child's pose. So we'll start. If you want to start with this one, open hip. So each knee to each side of the mat, big toes touching, rocking the hips back. Big stretch in our shoulder. Reach the fingertips forward. Forehead touches the mat. Breathing deeply here. So we'll stay here about 5 breaths. Now, let's easily come up to tabletop, bringing in our knees and coming up. Let's tuck our tuck our toes under. Get ready for our first down dog of the evening. So, down dog. If we wing out our elbows and then tuck them up, just a little cue to make sure that you're facing the dip in this arm, like our elbow crease is facing forward, just a little tweak, because I'm not there to say tuck toes. Let's send the tailbone up to the sky. If we need to pedal out, if you feel any rounding in your back, put some bend in your knee, help you flatten that back out. Whatever feels good to you here. And let's walk forward. We can start to bring our gaze forward a little. And when we inhale, halfway lift. And fold over a little bit more one time. A good little forward fold. Good for the digestion, good for relaxation. And let's come up on an inhale nice and slow. Okay. Now, okay, I was right. I was where I wanted to be. So if we're feet hip distance apart, our tailbone is slightly tucked, our abs are engaged, let's bring our hands to heart center. Nothing more loving than a Pisces. Lord have mercy. My daughter is such a loving person. From here, let's come to our mat, side to side on the mat. Swoop, swoop. I'm not sure that's a term, but I just made it one. Let's bring our feet about 3-4 feet apart, right? Then turn our toes so that our toes are forward, our feet are forward. We're going to get into a wide leg forward fold. If you have blocks at home, you can use a block or two, honestly, to reach down on, or you can have your back nice and open and round. You don't have to feel the need to straighten that back. Whatever feels comfortable for you. So, if we were moving with our breath, you feel me? So, our legs are nice and open. And we exhale, forward fold. Let gravity pull at the top of that crown. Use your breath to help you relax into your pose. From here, let's inhale, come up just slightly. And we're going to walk our hands over to our right. Turn that foot forward. Turn both feet forward. Drop that left leg down. We're going to come to lizard. So we're going to walk our foot to just outside the mat. And both hands are inside. The right leg is a right angle. And it's a lot of opening in the hips. The chest is kind of uplifted, like we're right between, we're aiming for between our biceps here with the heart space. And to come out of this, let's bring our foot, like walk our foot in between our hands, tuck that back foot, our left foot, and come up and bring our toes forward. We're still in this kind of halfway forward fold action. And we're going to walk over to our left side and do it on the other side. Lizard on the other side. And let's walk that foot to the just outside the mat. The right leg is dropped back. We're in this is a huge hip opener. Your left leg is about 90 degrees where the knee is. Breathe in here. If this is too deep, again, that block, you can rest here on that block. Will take some of that height off of it. But you see my back is nice and straight from my spine or my tailbone to my crown, straight line. That's what we're going for. And let's release that. And walk the foot back inward. Tuck the right foot, lift up. Let's send our toes forward again. We're at a forward fold still. We're going to revolve this forward fold. So when we're ready, we're going to inhale and slowly bring our right arm up. We can bring our gaze kind of to our fingertips. We don't have to turn our head as if we were an owl, but to just lift up and bring that gaze to the beautiful night sky, right? Exhale it down. And inhale, left arm goes up this time. Bringing that gaze to our fingertips. Breathing into this deep twist. We're going to feel it in our inner thigh, as well as at the top of our shoulders and back. And from here, let's bring our feet together and slow roll up. Now that we're nice and warm, let's get into some sun sounds. I know it's the moon, but just to energize all of these chakras, right? We'll just do 2 rounds of sun sound A. So we meet at the top in prayer center, right? Just taking a moment to kind of get in touch with our breath. Slow, even breathing. And let's get into these sun sounds. Let's inhale, palms to the ceiling. If you want to bring your gaze up, feel free. Exhale on over. Inhale, halfway lift, palms to shins. Send your shoulder blades down your back. Your gaze is boom, straight, kind of like at the top edge of the mat. And when we exhale, let's forward fold and step back into plank. And from here, if we want to do it easy and slow, that's where we're at. Knees, chest, chin to the mat, and sliding forward, which is not so easy when you got a little bit of boobies going on, but we can lift up here gently for baby cobra. And let's release. And let's tuck our toes under and get ready for down dog. Any adjustments you need to make, feel free. I hope everyone is feeling great. And let us walk our toes forward. We can bring our gaze forward as we walk forward. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale down. Inhale, let's come up. Exhale to heart center. The next one will be a little quicker. Inhale up. Forward fold. On our exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale. Down, let's get ready to step back into plank. This mat is very sticky, by the way. I got it for the grip. Lord knows it grips. Knees, chest, chin. All right. So, we are here. We could do Cobra. If you want to do the full expression with engaging the tops of our feet, our hands are at kind of like the middle of the rib cage, and we lift here. The gaze goes up slightly, upward dog, and tuck toes, down dog. Make any adjustments in this down dog that you need to, feel free. And let's get ready to walk forward. And let's inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale. And then exhale, heart center. All right, lovely people. Since we're dealing with the moon, let's do a little vinyasa on the half moon. We'll do the half moon. So a half moon, and I'll show it with a block when I first start to mess with it. So suppose we're in mountain. We'll do the left first. So we'll ground down through this right foot. And we're going to use the block. I have it on the tallest for some stability. We are lifting. Woo-hoo. So here's a good way. Bring it out. Situate yourself on the toe. Ha! It's a bit of an external rotation, pushing through to that heel. You can keep your gaze down. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, when I ran through this, it worked perfectly. Now that I'm recording, it's trying to act negroidal. When I say it, I mean this body. So you can bring your gaze down if it's more comfortable, or up. Poses are challenging. Isn't that freaking life? So, we're in half moon. The half moon goes back to warrior two. So that back foot is parallel with the mat. This front knee is bent. Our arms are straight out. We're gazing over these fingertips. This is warrior two. Whew. A challenge. Let's inhale and reverse warrior. Right arm goes up, left arm to left leg. And let's come back into warrior two. Use it to transition straight in the front leg for a modified triangle pose. We'll lean to the right till we can't lean at the hip no more. We are creating a lift with our left arm. This right hand could be on a block. It could be on your shin. Hell, it could be on your thigh. Put it where it feels good to you. But you're not really putting weight on this. Though you're creating the lift. This is working the obliques a little lot. And let's windmill our arms down and bring our feet back together and slowly roll up and onto the other side. So we're going to, I'm gonna actually do it. Y'all gonna see it from the front and the back. So if we're using the block, we can, but you don't have to. I used it the first time, so I won't this time. So if we step this foot back and come on up, push out. This arm, it stretches up to the ceiling, pushing through to that heel, straight out behind you. You can look up. Jesus God. Then we drop back. That right foot is parallel to the mat. Front knee is bent. Left knee. Feel that stretch in your right hip flexor. Left knee is forward. Arms up, warrior two. Gazing out over the fingertips. And when you're ready, inhale. Let's bring the left arm up to the ceiling, right leg, right hand to right leg. Let's transition out, warrior two. Again, straighten that leg, modified triangle on this side. We're gonna lean forward at the hip, lean to the side at the hip with our left arm till we can't no more tip. Right arm is to the ceiling. Fingertips are reaching towards the heavens, creating that lift. Just keep breathing. And let's windmill the arms down. And let's bring our feet together. Slow roll up in gratitude at our heart center. However you wish, let's come to seated. We will do a reclined bound angle, both soles of both feet touching. We're reclined back. If you want, you can take one hand and place on your belly, one hand on your chest. We're just getting in touch with our breathing here. We're getting ready to enter into some different restful positions. And I apologize for no music, guys. My sound ain't what it could be. So if we stayed there for about 5 breaths, and that's sad, I gotta look at my nose. Let's do wind release. So if we are on our backs nice and good, we can hug in both knees. This feels good. So our thighs are on our belly. If you want to find a gentle rocking motion side to side, please feel free. We're getting into the deep, good relaxation part of this here practice. And let's come back to center. If we were rocking, we can release our legs. Let's take both legs over for a twist. So we can start to the left. So stacked ankles, stacked knees, stacked hips, and we can bring them over to the side. If you want both arms out in a goal post, or if you want to make a T, we probably have more room to stretch out as a T with our, in our own crib. Nice deep breaths in this twist. And let us come back to midline, come back to center. And let's twist on the other side. Still stacked hips, stacked knees, stacked ankles. Let's take both knees over to the other side. And if you have a block at home, you can definitely use a block to support you in your twist, to put it underneath your knees. It could be like under the floor, providing some support for your knees in your twist. And let's come back to center. From here, let's turn on our sides, right? I'm wrong. Don't listen to me. We'll do legs up. Boom. So, our lower backs are in full contact with the mat. And our legs are up. Our feet are flat, like we're walking on the ceiling. You can have your palms on either side of you on the mat, or palms on the mat, arms on either side of you. Another resting pose, but definitely very rejuvenating. A lot of times we're sitting in a car, sitting on a chair, at a desk, or we're standing up. And this movement is the antithesis of that. So they're going to feel regenerated and energized from this asana. And also our digestive and our reproductive organs are going to feel energized from all this fresh blood flow. And let's release our legs. From here, let's come onto our sides. We are going to, I'm going to move onto the, and I just lied again. Don't come onto your side. Constructive rest. So, opposite of legs up. Our feet are on the floor. Our knees are bent. Our knees and we have a space between our knees. If you want to have one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly, if you want to have your palms on the mat on either side of you, this is just a variation of Shavasana with the knees bent because you have options in your rest. And before we go into our final Shavasana, now you can take your Shavasana any way you want, but from here, we're gonna do Advasana, which is reverse corpse pose, which I actually really like. So if we turn on our side, like I done said 3 times, and won't write none of them. So we're in an extended body stretch. Not stretch, but it's our body is stretched out. So you see the tops of my feet are flat on the mat, and we just lean forward, just like in child's pose where our forehead is on the mat. This is reverse corpse pose. Our arms are just outstretched. Our forehead is slightly on the mat. I'm just coming up a little so that I can talk without sounding like I'm muffled and like the sound isn't coming through. But your arms are outstretched simply, and your forehead is touching the mat. You're in full rest. The tops of your feet are on the mat. You just breathe in slowly, breathe in deeply, using your breath to help you sink down into the mat. And you do have the option to stay here. If you prefer traditional Shavasana, now is the time for you to go into that pose. We've reached the end of our practice. So find your rest, how you do it. If you have both soles touching, if you're on your back, soft knees, soft ankles, soft shoulders, relaxing the face, just sinking down into the mat. Or even if you're seated, and just taking the time to let your body just assimilate all this information it's been given. If you want to set an intention for your rest, we can do that. And I will rest with you here. Now, this is your practice. If you want to gently rouse yourself from your slumber, you can feel free. Kind of turn yourself on your side with a supported head, just kind of fetal position. Or if you want to continue your Shavasana, because typically if we were face to face, it would probably be longer. And I'd like to say namaste. And gratitude. And I hope everyone enjoys their full moon. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you soon.